I think one of the biggest and most legitimate gripes about the mainstream media or even the left-wing media, and there are a lot of legitimate gripes here, but the most legitimate one is the fact that they exaggerate and blow everything out of proportion without historical context to go along with it. And that is essentially what is happening with this transition process, in which the mainstream media has completely blown out of proportion in regards to its actual significance in terms of a peaceful transition of power, if there is a transition of power. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share. A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. But right before we get into this, guys, most of you guys know I am fighting the war on flushable wipes, because flushable wipes clog pipes. It can cost local municipalities and possibly your city millions of dollars per year for them to clean out those wipes from your pipes. And it can also cost you over $1,000 in plumbing bills if you're currently using flushable wipes. My solution to this problem is called Ashi. It is a home system designed to help you instantly create eco-friendlier flushable wipes just using toilet paper. It's sleek looking, great modern design that will look great in any bathroom. If you're looking for the perfect gift this Christmas season for your friends, family, whoever, or check out Ashi at ashihome.com. 10% of net proceeds will be donated to Toys for Tots. All right, let's get it. All right, guys. So the left-wing media has been freaking out about the transition process, as Emily Murphy has basically been holding up the process of transitioning because President Trump currently fighting for this election in court. And as that plays out, only thing he's holding up is the GSA process, which just stands for General Services Administration. And the only thing they do really is they just provide the transition team for the president-elect office space in Washington, and they coordinate access to federal agencies in order to plan potential policy changes with current administration officials using the $6.3 million budget that is currently allocated for that purpose. That's all they do. And apparently the left think this is the worst thing in the world, right? Listen to Keith Olbermann go on this insane rant about how Emily Murphy should be brought up on charges.
This is Olbermann versus Trump, and I'm not Trump. I call upon the United States House of Representatives to begin procedures to hold General Services Administration head Emily Murphy in contempt of Congress. I call upon the House to subpoena her to appear before them to explain immediately her refusal to issue the ascertainment that is required to formally begin the Biden presidential transition. I call upon the House to tell Administrator Murphy that any further delay after tomorrow will result in her contempt case being referred to the Department of Justice on January 21st of next year, and that she will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Enough of this. Last Thursday, the chairwomen of the House Oversight and Appropriations Committees wrote to Emily Murphy and asked her to appear before them today, Monday, and explain what the hell she was doing. She did not appear. Instead, the GSA advised the committee chairs that a deputy administrator, not Murphy, would brief the chairwomen and the ranking Republican members of each committee next Monday, the 30th. The committee chairs have since written Murphy back, insisting she appear tomorrow. This is all not merely wrong, it is criminal. Murphy is self-dealing. Murphy previously lied to Congress when Trump wanted to cancel moving FBI headquarters so the building would not become a hotel that would rival his own hotel. And now ABC News has reported that while publicly Murphy is insisting there is no conclusive evidence that Biden has won and Trump has lost, privately she's already sent a message to a colleague, which ABC has seen, in which Murphy asked for leads and help getting a new job. She is doing all this, inserting herself into the wheels of American government to literally freeze a nation and humor a psychopathic lame duck so that she doesn't piss off any other Trump cultists who might hire her, and so that for all her potential new employers, she doesn't have to admit Trump fired her. This is how sick this individual is. Screw the nation. I need a good reference. Again, to Chairwoman Maloney of House Oversight and Chairwoman Lowy of Appropriations, Emily Murphy ignored your request. Give her till morning to show up and answer your questions. If she fails to appear, send subpoenas and begin procedures to hold Murphy in contempt of Congress and have her detained and arrested. Enough!
Again, this guy is nuts, man. He literally hit his head when he was younger. So, that kind of explains why this guy is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs insane. And there's also other examples on Twitter of leftists going crazy and losing their minds because Emily Murphy is a traitor and she's the worst person in the world, right? Guys, she's literally being fat shamed on Twitter by the left. Okay, like how ironic is that? The party that is supposed to be tolerant and against this type of bullying is fat shaming Emily Murphy because they don't agree with her politics. Fat shaming her. All types of jokes. Again, this is the party that's supposed to be against this type of stuff. But yet they do it just because you may support the president. If you support a politician that they don't like, then it's open season for you. Anything can be said about you. Don't matter. But yet, if it's somebody they do like, then you are a bigot and a bad person if you make a fat joke about somebody they like. That's how this works, guys. That's how this works. But let's hear Emily's explanation for why she held up the process. So she sent a letter to Joe Biden telling him, like, hey, listen, I have dedicated much of my adult life to public service, and I've always strived to do what is right. Please know that I came to my decision independently, based on the law and available facts. I was never directly or indirectly pressured by any executive branch official, including those who work at the White House or GSA, with regards to the substance or timing of my decision. To be clear, I did not receive any direction to delay my determination. I did, however, receive threats online, by phone, and by mail directly at my safety, my family, my staff, and even my pets in an effort to coerce me into making this determination prematurely. Even in the face of thousands of threats, I always remain committed to upholding the law. Contrary to media reports and insinuations, my decision was not made out of fear or favoritism. Instead, I strongly believe that the statute requires that the GSA administrator ascertain, not impose, the apparent president-elect. Unfortunately, the statute provides no procedures or standards for this process, so I look to precedent from prior elections involving legal challenges and incomplete counts. GSA does not dictate the outcome of legal disputes and are issues that the Constitution, federal laws, and state laws leave to the election certification process and decisions by courts of competent jurisdiction. I do not think that an agency charged with improving federal procurement and property management should place itself above the constitutionally based election process. I strongly urge Congress to consider amendments to the act. Again, guys, that's her explanation there. And she goes on to say, as you know, the GSA administrator does not pick or certify the winner of a presidential election. Instead, the GSA administrator's role under the act is extremely narrow: to make resources and services available in connection with a presidential transition. It's stated, because of recent developments involving legal challenges and certification of election results, I have determined that you may have access to the post-election resources and services described in Section 3 of the Act upon request. The actual winner of the presidential election will be determined by the electoral process detailed in the Constitution. Nothing she said in there was wrong, okay? Right? She's just saying, listen, it's currently ambiguous in terms of how this process worked. and I'm using my own interpretation of it in order to do what I feel is right. And at the end of the day, again, this is not a big deal. And the left is making this a big deal. Forget that back in 2000, George Bush did not get access to these resources from the GSA until after the election was officially certified. These leftists acting like, this is unprecedented. What you doing? You're doing something we've never seen in history. This is obstruction. You're trying to do stage a coup. You're trying to overthrow the duly elected president-elect. You're trying to obstruct democracy. You're just getting in the way. You're a traitor. You blah, 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 blah. Listen. Learn your history, dog. Learn your history. Understand that this is not a big deal, right? And again, what is so interesting about leftists getting so upset about this is that if you're so sure that Biden won, then just chill. I mean, I've been saying this for a minute, man. Both sides really need to chill out, right? Like, the establishment Republicans need to chill out, and the leftists need to chill out. The legal battles will play out in court, and we will find out what the truth is. Just like the states and their electors will submit their votes to the Electoral College, and the winner will be decided, okay? What's going to happen is going to happen. People going back and forth with each other, yelling and screaming about, what the outcome of the election was and this, that, and the other. And, Trump's trying to, get in the way of democracy, or he's trying to overturn the election. Like, it don't really matter, right? It don't really matter, because they either have the evidence and they can prove it in court, or they don't. If you're so sure that they don't have it, then let it go. If you're so sure that Biden is the winner, then why does it matter if this is something that's facilitated this early? I get it. I guess it does make the process and the transition more efficient and more smooth, and I 100% understand that. But again, if the president currently feels like this election is still up in the air and was not decided and has not been decided yet, and no electoral votes have been cast, then what's the argument against it? There really is no argument against it. People just love to overreact and throw temper tantrums, and it's really annoying. Yeah, guys, this is a nothing burger, guys. It literally means nothing. President Trump has said 1,000 times that, he's still continuing to fight. He's doing this because Ms. Murphy was receiving threats, and he wanted to stop her from receiving threats from the left in regards to why she's not doing this. So he took, a lot of pressure off of her and just said, hey, look, just go ahead and do it. Get it over with. We're still going to be fighting the good fight in court, and we'll go from there. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.